ahead and get started. So, our question of the day is, what is a type of sexual propagation? So we're focusing on propagating plants. If you thought about it, bees serve as pollinators for plants. Seeds and pollination is a type of sexual propagation. Today, we're going to be talking about asexual propagation. So we're going to go through some notes, and then we're actually going to take some cuttings from a coleus plant today. So go ahead and turn your packet over to your asexual propagation notes. Hurry.
Wait, is today your birthday?
No.
Monday.
Here we go. So asexual, that A in front of sexual means without. So asexual propagation is without sex. Without sex means there's no pollination occurring. So plants that can be propagated asexually, they do not need bees or insects or wasps to pollinate the plant. Coleus, this plant here, is a type of plant that we can take stem cuttings from and propagate it asexually. Okay, this plant does not need bees. So how do we do this? So we clone the parents. So this is considered a parent material. We started these plants back in August or so, and we grew them up so that it had enough foliage to take stem cuttings from. So it starts with the parent plant, and we are going to take stem cuttings from this to clone it. You can use stems, you can use leaves, you can use roots. Those are all types of asexual propagation. So Chloe, what is a type of cutting you can take from this plant to asexually propagate it?
The leaves.
Leaves, good. Conduit's another one. So we have leaves. What?
I was
Okay.
confident.
Vincent. Stems, good. And then the last one are roots. So when you take a cutting from a plant, you're cloning it. Brett, what does clone mean?
Like, get the identical thing?
Yes. So the daughter or the plant that we're going to be growing from the stem cutting is going to be identical to the parent material. Okay. So woody and semi-woody cuttings. That's referring to the type of stem. So when to take these specific cuttings is after current or present seasons. We're going to put on my desk. After current or present seasons, when the growth has partially hardened, cuttings should be able to bend. So woody and semi-woody, the cuttings should be able to bend. Stem cuttings. So the best time to take stem cuttings is in the morning. Unfortunately, we don't have class in the morning. We have a 5th period, so we're going to take them today. Just because it's best practice doesn't mean it's not going to work. So, it's just normally you water plants early in the morning, so they just got watered and they're alert, and so you can cut them and they're going to grow better. But it's going to work either way. Kendra, what's the best time to take stem cuttings?
In the morning.
In the morning. Good. So here's the part where we need to pay attention. So if everyone can turn back here so I can demonstrate. So making the cuttings, you start with your parent material, okay, and you're gonna end up with a 2 to 4 inch stem. So they're gonna be about this size when we're done. I have some clippers back here. They've all been sanitized. When you guys are taking your cuttings, it's really important that everything's clean because this is like a fresh wound. So this is a 1 to 10 bleach solution that we just dip it in. And you're gonna find the stem you wanna cut that's long enough. So today we're gonna aim for 4 inches and we're gonna cut it just below the leaf and node. So right here, we have leaves and we have a node. Okay, so where those leaves come out is a node. We want to cut down at a 45-degree angle because that increases the surface area for rooting. Okay, so here's the node, it's a 45-degree angle. So Reba, what angle do we cut stems at?
A 45 degree.
Why?
Because it maximizes the surface area for rooting.
Yes, beautiful. Okay. We're gonna remove all the blooms and leaves. So you can cut them, I just kind of prick them off. The reason behind this is that we want the plant to focus on rooting and not growing out these leaves. We can leave the top leaves up. I normally leave a couple leaves, but we want it to spend all its energy and time rooting and not worrying about the leaves. When we're taking cuttings from a flowering plant, it's so important that you make sure there's no flowers or buds on that stem because it's gonna focus on that flower. All right. Now, I told you we want to keep everything sterile. We're gonna put the cutting into a bleach solution. So the same bleach solution we used for our cutters, we're gonna dip it in. Okay, this is bleach. Do not get it on your clothes. Andrew, why do you think it's important to sterilize the cut?
Because it's a fresh wound and you can infect it.
Yeah, it's a fresh wound. We want to make sure it's clean and it doesn't start its life out with any type of bacteria. On some of these, you may not have any leaves and it might be hard to tell which side is up. So pay attention because if you plant this upside down, it's not going to root. Okay, so we want to make sure we plant it right side up. So we have our stem cutting. The end, we're just going to throw it in some water. So Karen, just to remind you guys, we want to make sure we're cutting it at a 45-degree angle. Okay, that allows the surface area to contact the media we're going to put it in. For today, the media is just going to be water. Tomorrow, we're going to dip them in a rooting hormone and plant them in a soil with heavy perlite mix.
Can you go backwards? Like,
Yes.
you did the infused, like,
The media we're using tomorrow, it's regular potting soil, but we're adding extra perlite. So perlite are those little white, kind of fluffy balls in soil. That's gonna allow the soil to drain fast. Okay, because we want it to have like a light and fluffy area that allows root growth. If we just stick it in regular soil, it might root, but it's not the best environment for new roots to grow. So, preparing the container. We're gonna be filling plug trays. It's literally just like a baking tray. And we're gonna fill it with our soil media. If you have dipples, it's just like a wooden dowel that is used to make holes. That's the way like a greenhouse manager would do it, but since we don't have those, we're just gonna use trays with soil and perlite. And it's gonna be just fine. So just like all our tools, we want our media to be sterilized as well. We wanna make sure that there's no bacteria or fungi that's gonna get into our new stem cuttings. So, Vincent, how do you think we're gonna sterilize our media? So it's soil, so what's another way besides bleach?
Water.
Think about it. How do we sterilize like tools? Use alcohol, but probably not on soil. Heat, perfect. So I'm actually going to bake the soil. So large nurseries, they have giant autoclaves. Autoclaves is just like a giant oven, and they stick it in and they bake it to kill any type of bacteria. So treating the cuttings, we kind of talked about this. We're gonna strip it of its lower leaves because we want it to focus on rooting, and we're gonna dip it in a rooting hormone. The chemicals, it helps it root faster and it gives it stronger roots. There are heavy duty rooting hormones that you can buy online, but you can just go to like Orchard and buy Miracle Grow rooting hormone, and it comes in a powder form. Okay, so we're gonna stop notes here, and we're going to take some cuttings. So if everyone can kind of gather around over here, I think we can work in pairs. The goal, guys, is to get as many cuttings as we can without killing the plant. Okay, so we're gonna leave a base here a couple inches above the soil, so maybe right here, but all above that we can cut. And then after you're done, you're gonna bleach them, and you're gonna put them in a beaker of water so that they're ready for us to plant tomorrow. Okay? What angle do we have to cut them, Ashlyn? 45 degrees. Zoe, what are these dipped in before we cut? Bleach solution. Perfect. Aubrey, why do we remove leaves on the stem
So
cuttings?
it focuses on rooting.
Beautiful. Okay, you ready? Okay, be careful, these are sharp. Don't run with them. Don't run with scissors. Bleach solution, right here. 1, 2, 3. Water is back behind Georgia. Ready, set, start making some cuttings.